Hello everybody, I'm the Aqua Student, and we have a new companion for the 55-gallon African cichlid tank. This guy is a young albino yellow lab. He's about probably 2.5, maybe 3 inches. I think it's closer to 2.5. And so I was debating on whether or not of adding him to the 55-gallon aquarium or the 20-long grow-out tank. It's a tough decision. I would really prefer to quarantine him in the 20 long, but I think the water is much better in here, and there's a lot more space for him to grow up. So assuming he's eating, he's going to get much larger, much more quickly in here. So with that said, I'm going to get him acclimated and put into the aquarium. Now, it's not always just as simple as getting them adjusted to the water chemistry and tossing them in with an African cichlid tank. African cichlids are very territorial, especially mbunas, which is what pretty much all these guys are, with the exception of the blue peacock there. And so there are a couple strategies that you can do or employ to make the adjustment for the new guys much more smooth. Now, the first thing that I'm going to be doing is, well, I turned off the light. That'll hopefully calm everything down a little bit. It'll reduce their visibility a little bit, and that'll just make things a little bit easier. I'm also going to be rearranging the aquascape in this tank. I've got a bunch of rocks in here. They're going to be in all sorts of different orders now. Once I get the new guy into the tank, I can readjust it accordingly. Now, what moving all these rocks around is going to do is change the territories. It'll break up all the territories. Especially, let's see, a good example would be the Cichlids elongatus chueri, that guy right there. He had a cave right in front here that was just his. No one could go in it, no one could go near it. He would chase anyone away that got anywhere near it. So now that I've removed the cave, he doesn't have a territory to defend. Everyone is now on equal footing. Even a new guy being introduced to the aquarium, he would be able to try and pick a spot and defend it. Whereas if something's already claimed, it's a lot harder to remove the dominant fish from that spot. The last thing I'm going to do is when I add this new guy, I'm going to be feeding the current inhabitants on one side of the tank, and I'm going to introduce the new guy on the other. That way he'll be able to slip in unnoticed, and well, it'll improve his chances, and he can slip in and join the fray as normal. So now all that's left to do is get this guy acclimated to the aquarium and introduce him. I'll show you guys when I get the lights back on. So let me just say, World War III is probably going to be breaking out in this aquarium for the next 24 to 48 hours. That's what always happens whenever I rearrange any of the rock work or anything in the aquarium. And it's something that the cichlids are going to be establishing their hierarchy. So prior to this, the blue peacock was, of course, number 1 in the tank. I expect him to stay there. We also have the Cichlids elongatus chueri, the guy who I said had the cave right in the center. Looks like he's staked out that cave again and is probably going to be number 2 in command. Probable 3rd in command is the Cichlids elongatus mapanga, this nice colorful guy up here. And then everyone else, it's just pretty much a free-for-all. Some of the yellow labs might switch in and out of being the top of that system. Either way, we have the albino yellow lab in here now. It looks like he lost one of his back scales on the trip over here. Not sure if the contrast is going to allow that to show up. He also has a little bit of a sunken belly, which has me concerned, but he should fatten up quite nicely over the next few days. He, of course, hasn't been fed that much the past couple weeks. Especially the past few days before transit and over the past couple days in transit. But I'll get him all fattened up and hopefully ready to breed within the next few months. I would love to have some albino yellow lab fry going around. So it might take a couple generations though, because it's of course a recessive gene, and I'm not sure if any of these guys have the albino recessive gene within them. So we'll see how that goes. But overall, I'm really liking the way this tank's looking out. I'm sorry that there's a bit of a reflection going on there, but it's midday and, well, the sun does come out occasionally. And by the power of quick transition, we are a few days in the future. So, got here the 55 gallon, and things have calmed down quite a bit over the past couple days. Try and reduce the glare as much as possible. The hierarchy was pretty much established as I expected. The peacock is number 1. The Chweri's number 2. I haven't quite seen him poking around this cave. Oh, yes, there he is. Of course, right when I turn around. And so then from there, it's just kind of labeled out. They're falling through exactly as expected. The Mapanga's number 3 probably, and then the yellow labs are kind of squabbling for dominance. I'm going to be moving one of the female yellow labs back into here. She was holding for the past few weeks and has started to spit fry, so it's about time to get her back in here, and it'll probably cause everything to go all out of whack anyway. I'm happy to say that the albino yellow lab is doing quite nicely. I've been watching him very closely, and he's been eating, and hopefully we'll get that sunken belly all taken care of ASAP. Other than that, everything is going quite nicely. I've got a little bit of an experiment going on here that you can sort of see. The light's a little bit bright, but we got some pothos growing up out of the top of the tanks. And actually, I've got them in most of my tanks now. And the idea behind this is pothos grow very quickly. They don't mind having their roots submerged in water, so that's what I've got them doing here. And because they grow quickly, they will reduce a lot of the organic materials out of the tank, like nitrates, for instance, and that'll help keep the water a little bit cleaner. It's the exact same thing as aquarium plants, but at a much quicker scale. So I'm going to be monitoring the water chemistry and see how that fluctuates over time, and I will update you guys with that progress in another video. But I just wanted to show the aftermath of World War III and kind of how everything settled down, and the apocalypse of the Third Age has finally subsided. Thank you guys very much for watching, and if you would, once again, like me on Facebook. That's facebook.com/aquastudent. Tank on.